Okay, if everything has gone according to plan, welcome back to another episode of Weekends with Avrona. Sorry, this one's a bit late, but I just got back from casting 3 Rainbow Six matches in a row, so sorry if my voice is kind of going as well. But anyway, we're back, and honestly, I kind of had a hard time choosing a topic for this one. I know I said that this episode will be the one where we play through all the Discord games or whatever and make like a ranked tier list or whatever that kind of idea was, but instead, I mean, so much happened in the kind of tech space in the past week that I had to talk about something from that area instead, because we had GTC happen, where Nvidia announced all of their brand new stuff. We had GDC happen, which was a very confusingly similar name. And of course, we had a big Apple lawsuit as well. And while I did mention the Apple lawsuit a bit in my kind of video about it, instead, I wanted to spend this weekend running talking about the big Nvidia Blackwell reveal. I actually haven't watched pretty much anything. I was saving it for this show. So the plan is actually fairly simple. Let me just switch over to the... There we go. So I just have a quick 60-minute breakdown of what happened by CNET. The whole thing is like 2 hours. I'm not watching the whole presentation, sorry, especially because a lot of it is, you know, the more boring AI stuff. There is a reason why I haven't done any kind of video on all the big Blackwell announcements, and that's simply because it's, I think, a bit too granular for a regular video, right? It's just a bit too nitty-gritty about enterprise solutions that the average show really doesn't care about. The only reason you would care about it, you know, it is fun, it is fine, and it's exciting to see what that tech will achieve, especially when it comes to, you know, the kind of AI-powered things, whatever those things may be, that this brand new Nvidia Blackwell technology will utilize, because, you know, it's still one of the largest challenges when it comes to AI, because sure, just using AI for literally anything is cool, but what things you can actually make with AI to make it make back money, that's a kind of a more difficult question that a lot of companies have a hard time answering. And in the end, I think the more exciting thing is talking about how this technology will eventually make its way down into the consumer Blackwell chips, which will be most likely getting later this year. So, 60 minutes, let's just see exactly what Jensen or Will
I hope you realize
have
this is not a concert. You have arrived at a developers conference. There will be a lot of science described.
Woo, science.
Algorithms, computer architecture, mathematics.
Woo.
Blackwell is not a chip. Blackwell is the name of a platform. People think we make GPUs, and we do.
Yeah.
But GPUs don't look the way they used to. This is Hopper. Hopper changed the world. This is Blackwell.
That's a big chip. I've seen this image, obviously I really use it for the thumbnail. But man, that's a big chip. Obviously, we won't be getting a chip that big for our consumer graphics cards.
208 billion transistors, and so you could see, I can see, there's a small line between 2 dies. This is the first time 2 dies have abutted like this together in such a way that the two dies think it's one chip. There's 10 terabytes of data between it, 10 terabytes per second. So that these two sides of the Blackwell chip have no clue which side they're on. There's no memory locality issues, no cache issues. It's just one giant chip. And it goes into 2 types of systems. The first one,
but they think they're one because it's just so fast.
Is form-fit function compatible to Hopper. And so you slide on Hopper and you push in Blackwell. That's the reason why one of the challenges of ramping is going to be so efficient. There are installations of Hoppers all over the world, and they could be you know, the same infrastructure, same design, the power, the electricity, the thermals, the software.
Okay, but how many companies have just spent an absolute fortune on Hopper systems?
This is a Hopper version for the current HGX configuration, and this is what the second Hopper looks like. This. Now, this is a prototype board. This is a fully functioning board, and I'll just be careful here. This right here is
also, yeah, that's Blackwell.
I don't know, $10 billion.
I would not be trusted with a $10 billion
The second one's
PCB.
5. It gets cheaper after that. So any customers in the audience, it's okay. The Grace CPU has a super fast chip-to-chip link. What's amazing is this computer is the first of its kind where this much computation, first of all, fits into this small of a place. Second, it's memory coherent. They feel like they're just one big happy family working on one application together. We created a processor for the generative AI era. And one of the most important parts of it is content token generation. We call it, this format is FP4. The rate at which we're advancing computing is insane. And it's still not fast enough, so we built another chip.
So many of my comments are just going to be,
this chip
cool. Can't wait for this to, make its
just an incredible chip. We call it the NVLink switch. It's 50 billion transistors. It's almost the size of Hopper all by itself. This switch chip has 4 NVLinks in it, each 1.8 terabytes per second, and
how fun would it be?
It has computation in it, as I mentioned.
Consumer end, if they bring back
what is this chip for?
Insane speeds.
If we were to build such a chip,
it won't be this fast, but still,
we can have every single GPU talk to every other GPU at full speed at the same time. You can build a system that looks like this.
Those delayed claps, yeah, woo, wow.
Now this system is kind of insane. This is one DGX. This is what a DGX looks like now. Just so you know, there are only a couple, 2, 3 exaflops machines on the planet as we speak. And so this is an exaflops AI system in one single rack. I want to thank some partners that are joining us in this. AWS is gearing up for Blackwell. They're going to build the first GPU with secure AI. They're building out a 222 exaflops system. We're CUDA accelerating SageMaker AI. We're CUDA accelerating Bedrock AI. Amazon Robotics is working with us using Nvidia Omniverse and Isaac Sim. AWS Health has Nvidia Health integrated into it. So AWS has really leaned into accelerated computing. Google is gearing up for Blackwell. GCP already has A100s, H100s, T4s, L4s, a whole fleet of Nvidia CUDA GPUs. And they recently announced the Gemma model that runs across all of it. We're working to optimize and accelerate every aspect of GCP. We're accelerating Dataproc, which for data processing, their data processing engine, JAX, XLA, Vertex AI, and Mujoko for robotics. So we're working with Google and GCP across a whole bunch of initiatives. Oracle is gearing up for Blackwell. Oracle is a great partner of ours for NVIDIA DGX Cloud, and we're also working together to accelerate something that's really important to a lot of companies, Oracle database. Microsoft is accelerating, and Microsoft is gearing up for Blackwell. Microsoft and NVIDIA has a wide-ranging partnership. We're accelerating, CUDA accelerating all kinds of services when you chat, obviously, and AI services that are in Microsoft Azure. It's very, very likely NVIDIA's in the back doing the inference and the token generation. They built the largest NVIDIA InfiniBand supercomputer, basically a digital twin of ours, or a physical twin of ours. We're bringing the NVIDIA ecosystem to Azure, NVIDIA DGX Cloud to Azure. NVIDIA Omniverse is now hosted in Azure. NVIDIA Healthcare is in Azure. And all of it is deeply integrated and deeply connected with Microsoft Fabric. It's a pre-trained model, so it's pretty clever. And it is packaged and optimized to run across NVIDIA's install base, which is very, very large. What's inside it is incredible. You have all these pre-trained, state-of-the-art open source models. They could be open source. They could be from one of our partners. It could be created by us, like NVIDIA Moment. It is packaged up with all of its dependencies. So CUDA, the right version. cuDNN, the right version. TensorRT, LLM, distributing across the multiple GPUs. Triton Inference Server, all completely packaged together. It's optimized, depending on whether you have a single GPU, multi-GPU, or multi-node of GPUs. It's optimized for that. And it's connected up with APIs that are simple to use. These packages, incredible bodies of software, will be optimized and packaged, and we'll put it on a website. And you can download it. You could take it with you. You could run it in any cloud. You could run it in your own data center. You can run in workstations if it fit. And all you have to do is come to ai.nvidia.com. We call it NVIDIA Inference Microservice, but inside the company, we all call it NIMS. We have a service called Nemo Microservice that helps you curate the data, preparing the data so that you could teach this, onboard this AI. You fine-tune them, and then you guardrail it. You can even evaluate the answer, evaluate its performance against other examples. And so we are effectively an AI foundry. We will do for you and the industry on AI what TSMC does for us building chips.
If you say so, where's my
So
mouse
we
gone?
go to it with our, go to TSMC with our big ideas. They manufacture it, and we take it with us. And so exactly the same thing here. AI foundry, and the three pillars are the NIMS, Nemo Microservice, and DGX Cloud. We're announcing that NVIDIA AI Foundry is working with some of the world's great companies. SAP generates 87% of the world's global commerce. Basically, the world runs on SAP. We run on SAP. NVIDIA and SAP are building SAP Joule co-pilots using NVIDIA Nemo and DGX Cloud. ServiceNow, they run 85% of the world's Fortune 500 companies run their people and customer service operations on ServiceNow.
So powerful
and they're
that I've
using
never even heard
NVIDIA
of them.
AI Foundry to build ServiceNow assist virtual assistants.
Don't have any need for that
Cohesity
just yet.
backs up the world's
Give it
data.
like 2 more years.
They're sitting on a gold mine of data. Hundreds of exabytes of data, over 10,000 companies. NVIDIA AI Foundry is working with them, helping them build their Gaia generative AI agent. Snowflake is a company that stores the world's digital warehouse in the cloud and serves over 3 billion queries a day.
Hey, maybe NVIDIA have an AI for that. Is there like an AI that like matches?
Snowflake is working with NVIDIA AI Foundry to build co-pilots with NVIDIA Nemo
like a style
and
analyzer.
NetApp,
what kind of clothes,
nearly
what colors,
half of the files in the world
that has to be a thing.
are stored on-prem on NetApp.
NVIDIA
AI Foundry is helping them build chatbots and co-pilots like those vector databases and retrievers with NVIDIA Nemo and NIMS. And we have a great partnership with Dell. Everybody who is building these chatbots and generative AI, when you're ready to run it, you're going to need an AI factory. And
that was always
nobody is better at building end-to-end systems of very large scale for the enterprise than Dell. And so anybody, any company, every company will need to build AI factories.
So
and it turns out that Michael is here. He's happy to take your order.
But
we need a simulation engine that represents the world visually for the robot, so that the robot has a gym to go learn how to be a robot.
How the business started, Dell was originally just a system integrator.
Virtual world.
How is that like the literally was vertical?
And the computer that runs Omniverse is called OVX.
Amazing. Again,
and OVX, the computer itself, is hosted in the Azure cloud.
The future of heavy industries starts as a digital twin. The AI agents helping robots, workers, and infrastructure navigate unpredictable events in complex industrial spaces will be built and evaluated first in sophisticated digital twins.
Once you connect everything together, it's insane how much productivity you can get. And it's just really, really wonderful. All of a sudden, everybody's operating on the same ground truth.
A lot of the context for all these
You don't have to exchange data and convert data, make mistakes. Everybody is working on the same ground truth. From the design department to the art department, the architecture department, all the way to the engineering and even the marketing department. Today we're announcing that Omniverse Cloud streams to the Vision Pro. And
I saw something about this, but it's actually happening. That is going to be huge. Imagine designing and working with an Omniverse.
It is very, very strange
on the Vision Pro
that you walk around virtual doors. When I was getting out of that car,
Apple level people,
and everybody does it.
Apple and Nvidia.
It is really, really quite amazing.
They
Vision Pro
each other.
connected to Omniverse.
Why Apple have always gone. I mean, not always, but for such a long time,
and
they've
because
gone for
all of these CAD tools
AMD
and all these different design tools are now integrated and connected to Omniverse, you can have this type of
partnering up with
workflow.
Vision
Really
Pro.
incredible.
This is Nvidia Project Groot.
It does make sense. The Vision Pro does
a general purpose foundation model for humanoid robot learning. The Groot model takes multimodal instructions and past interactions as input, and produces
like
the
apps,
next action for the
and this
robot
service
to
available in
execute.
Vision Pro, it is lacking in the library.
We
it's
developed
so
Isaac
lacking.
Lab, a
That is
robot
definitely
learning
one thing that
application
is
to
going
train
be
Groot
big when it
on
comes to,
Omniverse Isaac Sim.
showing the Vision Pro as not
And
only
we
a,
scale out with
you know,
Osmo,
recreational
a new
device,
compute
but also
orchestration
as something you
service
can actually
that
do
coordinates
work
workflows across
in.
DGX systems for training and OVX systems for simulation. The Groot model will enable a robot to learn from a handful of human demonstrations, so it can help with
Again, I'm
everyday
still surprised
tasks
that they buried a hatchet with
and
Apple, at least
emulate
somewhat.
human movement just by observing
To be
us.
fair, now that Apple has become
All
Apple
this
Silicon,
incredible
and they
intelligence
don't
is
have to,
powered by the new
they don't
Jetson
have to
Thor
deal with the
robotics
elephant in the
chips,
room of
designed for
making a
Groot,
decision of
built
whether
for the
they use
future.
GPUs.
With Isaac Lab,
I guess
Osmo, and
that's
Groot,
gonna be a point of
we're
contention
providing
now.
the building blocks for the next generation of AI-powered robotics.
Man. Oh. Oh, hello there. Are they gonna
About
like
the same size.
take him by surprise and just like gang up on him while he's not looking?
The soul of Nvidia. The intersection of computer graphics, physics, artificial intelligence. It all came to bear at this moment. The name of that project, General Robotics 003. I know. Super good.
Great name. Fantastic. Beautiful.
Super good.
Definitely not like sci-fi dystopian.
Well, I think we have some special guests.
Are they gonna come alive?
Do we?
Well, what on earth is that thing?
Hey
Did it
guys,
just claw its way out of a Star Wars movie? What on earth?
so I understand you guys are powered by Jetson. They're powered by Jetsons. Little Jetson robotics computers inside. They learn to walk in Isaac Sim.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
this is orange, and this is the famous green. They are the BDX robots of Disney. Amazing
Oh,
Disney
so they are,
research.
so they are actual like Star Wars things. They don't just look like Star Wars. They are.
Come on, you
Star
guys,
Wars.
let's wrap up. Let's go. 5 things. Where are you going? I sit right here.
What is actually going on?
Don't be afraid. Come here, Green. Hurry up. What are you saying?
I
No,
honestly
it's not
can't
time
tell
to eat.
exactly how much of this room is, how much of this is fake.
It's not time to eat. I'll give you a snack in a moment. Let me finish up real quick. Come on, Green, hurry up. Stop wasting time. This is
actually
what we
going on?
announced to you today. This is Blackwell. This is the platform.
That's
Amazing, amazing processors, NVLink switches,
definitely hope to get
networking
invited to one of these
systems,
events one
and
day.
the system design is a miracle.
This
This
entire section
is
is just
Blackwell.
called Disney
This to me,
robots. So yeah, the point of this was just to really talk about how insane Blackwell is. They in this recap they didn't even show that one kind of spec slide I've seen of Blackwell, but yeah, Blackwell is pretty insane, and obviously a lot of this will be cut down for us mere plebs when it comes to the RTX 5000 release later this year, but this is going to affect your life regardless, because so many of these services, so many of these new like projects that are starting out based around AI acceleration, whatnot, they will be running on Blackwell. I mean, just the fact that I was confused about how much of those little robots at the end was real or fake should kind of tell you all you need to know about how close we are to that kind of moment, right, where it is going to be real, like fully actually real. Actually insane. Now, unfortunately, we pretty much got nothing from Nvidia at GTC about Blackwell, as in the graphics cards for consumers. We will most likely get anything about that at Computex, which unfortunately I won't be going to. Who knows, maybe next year when I find an actual sponsor who'll be able to take us to Taipei, because yeah, it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to go to Taipei, so hopefully next year will be that kind of big year for us when we'll be able to go to places like CES and Computex for the first time, really being able to take in the atmosphere of those places, doing all the kind of tech journalism stuff like all the big boys in the industry there. So if you do want to help make it happen, allow us to go to those kind of events next year, then just subscribing to this channel in itself goes a long way. Or if you want to, help out in other ways, also of course, our Patreon, you can also leave a super chat. Leave your thoughts about what you thought of Nvidia's presentation at the GTC in the live chat. You can also leave it as a super chat if you want to support the channel in the same way, at the same time. And I don't know what else to talk about. Obviously, if you want to know more about that, Apple, the other big story of this week, that being Apple being sued by the Department of Justice, I have made my whole video about that. I thought of maybe just doing a very quick recap for this, but I don't really know what else and I haven't said in the video. Granted, the video itself is like 2 minutes, so I think even with the modern internet's attention span, you should be able to get through it. I'm personally very excited for that. I myself am definitely in the Samsung ecosystem, and Apple as a company, I respect the tech, and that's about it. I don't really respect it as a company, and I really also don't respect all the Apple fanboys that have been really just annoying to listen to every single year whenever Apple do something just so blatantly anti-consumer that they just defend with just this religious fervor almost. And I'm very, very excited to see them get a comeuppance, especially seeing how this is the Department of Justice. This isn't just nobody, right? This is the actual US government going after it, which, like I said in the video, bold move. Apple is one of the biggest companies in the country. It is pretty much a cultural cornerstone for the US on the scale of something like McDonald's. It's one of the biggest taxpayers in the country, and the government still sues them. So, as much as I may not like the current administration, good for you. Good for you, actually. And I'm very excited to see what is going to come of that. In terms of the kind of big changes, it is going to be weird, especially living in the UK, right? Because a lot of those changes that and the kind of malicious compliance that Apple have been up to recently when it comes to complying with EU Commission's regulations, then reapply here. And of course, they may also just do some very kind of similar tricks if the Department of Justice gets their way and they just do some changes only for the US. At the same time though, if obviously there is already some communication and the Department of Justice is definitely looking into the whole case of what's been happening between the EU and Apple, and they're studying it very, very precisely. All the lawyers and attorneys are definitely hard at work studying that, seeing what Apple have been doing there. So there will be definitely a lot of shared outcomes between the two cases. I mean, it's not really a case, right? They didn't get sued in the EU. It was just a new laws being implemented that they were specifically targeting companies like Apple. So I think a lot of the outcomes will be pretty much the same. So with the US, which is like probably one of the biggest markets in the world, having to abide by those regulations, and also in the EU, which is also another ginormous market for them, second largest after the US probably, then at what point would it just go, okay, fine, we'll just apply these rules evenly everywhere? Because when you have like what, 600 million people roughly living between those two places, at that point you might as well just apply it to the whole world and apply your policies evenly, especially because it will also hurt Apple's reputation in a big way if they continue doing this. Again, Apple's such a weird case regarding that, because it feels like they can do literally anything and people will still defend them, say it is the right thing. So I don't think the reputation is at super high stakes, but definitely somewhat. If first they get embarrassed by the EU Commission, then by the Department of Justice, I think it will definitely add up. But anyway, let me know what you think of this. And other than that, I'll probably be ending the stream very, very soon. Like I said, I had to stream, I had to cast 3 games, Rainbow Six, before I joined here. I also had to do a, how many? 2 games yesterday, and that was a solo cast. I didn't have like a casting buddy, so my voice is going. And I still have plenty of work this weekend, so yeah. I know, the tough life of a YouTuber. It's one of the toughest careers, trust me. In the meantime, next week's episode will most likely be that Discord one, right? It is going to be the one where we try and play as many of the Discord activity minigames as possible, unless some other big news comes out from any other event. I don't know, I don't think anything's really big happening, but again, something might surprise us. All the big events like GTC and GDC were this week. Speaking of, I wanted to mention some stuff at GDC. Some big changes going to Unreal, that's always fun. And that's about it when it comes to GDC. Oh yeah, FSR 3.1. Episode 3.1 did a video about that. That came out yesterday, so definitely check that out. That looks absolutely awesome from AMD. They are basically decoupling the brand new frame generation feature in FSR 3 from the upscaling, so you can use AMD's frame gen, but use DLSS or XeSS on top of that. And that's going to be very weird, and it's going to take plenty of testing from people like me to see exactly which combination of upscalers and frame gen is the best. So definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. That's going to be definitely a fun experiment to check out, to see if this brand new feature is worth it, or whether you know it's just better to stick with both FSR for upscaling and frame gen, or just all DLSS for both as well. So anyway, that is about it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Weekends with Avrona. As always, leave your suggestions for what we should do next down in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.